You did nothing for 7 hours. So why did you wake up like your body had been arguing without you? Your neck is stiff. One arm is numb. Your shoulder feels angry for no reason. Most people blame the mattress. Fair, the mattress matters, but sometimes the real problem is the position your body chose while you were gone. One part got comfortable, another part paid for it. Let's start with the one that looks safest, sleeping on your back. Back sleeping. Back sleeping has the best reputation. It looks clean, responsible, almost medical. Lie flat, keep the spine straight, use the right pillow. It sounds like the position a sensible adult would choose after reading one responsible article. And honestly, it helps many people. When you sleep on your back, your neck, spine, and hips have a better chance of staying in a neutral line. Nothing is crushed under you. No shoulder is carrying the whole night. In plain terms, fewer parts are being bent in directions they did not ask for. That is the good news. Then your airway enters the conversation. If you already snore, lying flat on your back is often where the noise gets louder. Your spine may be having a peaceful night, but your throat is not impressed. Gravity can make breathing rougher for some people, especially when the airway relaxes during sleep. Back sleeping can also make reflux more annoying after a late meal. You eat too close to bedtime, lie flat, and suddenly your chest starts doing that warm, sour little protest. That is the catch. Your spine likes the straightness. Your airway and stomach may not love the angle. If you sleep this way and wake up rested, do not turn your bed into a science project. Just check the pillow. If it is too tall and pushes your chin toward your chest, your neck is already losing before the night begins. Tiny detail, but tiny details get hours to become loud. Soldier position. Soldier position is the kind of back sleeping that looks correct from the outside. Arms down, legs straight, no curl, no reach, no dramatic blanket situation. It looks perfect, and that is exactly how it can fool you. Because sleep is not judged from the outside. Neat is not the same as comfortable. Some people like this position because there is less chaos. Nothing crosses over, nothing tucks underneath. Nothing pulls one side harder than the other. You just lie there, almost too politely. There is calm in that. But stillness does not solve everything. If the mattress is too firm, your lower back can start to feel unsupported. If the pillow is too tall, the neck bends forward. And if you snore on your back, soldier position does not magically fix that. You may still be snoring, just in a more organized shape. A small pillow under the knees can ease lower back tension because it lets the hips and lower spine soften a little. Not glamorous, useful. The lesson is simple. Sleep does not care how proper you look. It cares whether one small area is quietly losing the argument. Soldier position can feel calm, or it can be a very tidy complaint. Starfish position. Starfish sleeping is what happens when your body wants the bed back, not just rest. Space. You lie on your back with your arms up near your head, legs apart, taking up the mattress like you paid for the whole bed. After a day of sitting, folding forward, scrolling, working and holding yourself together, spreading out can feel strangely good. Your chest opens, your limbs loosen. You are not compact anymore. For a moment, it feels like freedom. Then your shoulders start objecting. When your arms stay raised for hours, the shoulders can rotate into a position they were never meant to hold all night. You wake up with tingling numbness or that strange moment where one arm clearly had its own separate evening. It is usually not dramatic. It is just annoying to start the day negotiating with your own arm. Starfish also keeps the back sleeping problem. The chest may feel open, but snoring can still show up. And if someone sleeps next to you, they may experience it as a hostile takeover of the mattress. The fix is not to become tiny, it is to give your shoulders a better deal. Lower the arms. Let them rest somewhere that does not pull the shoulders upward for half the night. Keep the space. Just do not ask your joints to suffer for all that space. So that is the back sleeping family: clean alignment, open space, and one common reminder. Your spine gets a vote. Your airway gets one too. That is the first rule. The position that looks healthy is not always the one your whole body agrees to. Now we turn to the side, where breathing often gets easier and pressure quietly finds a new place to collect. Side sleeping. Side sleeping feels like the safe choice. That is why people miss what it is doing to the shoulder. You turn away from the light. Pull the blanket closer, maybe tuck one knee forward, maybe slide one hand under the pillow, even though some part of you knows it might punish you later. And suddenly, yes, this is the shape. It feels familiar, safe, almost too normal to question. That is practical, it feels natural. And for many people, breathing gets easier on the side. Or, to say it less clinically, your throat often has an easier time when gravity is not pulling everything straight backward. But side sleeping does not remove pressure. It relocates it. A position can feel perfect at midnight and still explain the stiffness at 7 in the morning. The lower shoulder takes the weight, the hip takes its share. Even the side of your face gets involved. Nothing mysterious, just pressure staying in one place for hours. And after a whole night, small is not small anymore. The pillow matters here more than people think. Too low and your neck drops. Too high and it tilts upward. Either way, your neck is waiting until morning to report what happened. This is why people who sleep with a pillow between their knees are not being dramatic. They have discovered that the body likes a little architecture. A pillow there stops the top leg from dragging the hips and lower back with it. Side sleeping often helps breathing. The shoulder and hip usually feel it first. The position felt perfect at midnight. By 7, the shoulder had notes. Left side versus right side. This is the part people ignore until dinner follows them into bed. You eat late, lie down, turn one way and your chest starts complaining. Then you turn the other way and somehow it feels different. Annoying, but real. The left side versus right side question mostly comes down to gravity and how the stomach sits inside the body. For people with acid reflux, the left side often feels better because that angle can make it harder for acid to travel upward. That sounds like a detail nobody wants to care about until one night you are lying there, bargaining with your own stomach. For some people, the right side makes that burning feeling show up more easily after eating. Not because the right side is evil, but the angle can matter. And the frustrating part is that it may not matter every night. One night you sleep on the right side and feel fine. Another night, after a late meal or too much food too close to bedtime, your stomach suddenly has a lot to say. The right side is not automatically wrong. Shoulder pain, hip pain, pregnancy guidance, breathing habits, or other health factors can change what feels best. But if reflux keeps waking you up, testing the left side for a few nights is a small experiment worth trying. Not a personality change, just an experiment. Sometimes the problem is not that you are broken. Sometimes the angle is rude. And this is where sleep gets personal. Most people do not choose the healthiest position. They choose the one that lets them stop thinking. For some people, that means folding in. The fetal position. The fetal position is what happens when sleep is not just about rest. It is about protection. You curl your knees toward your chest and become a smaller shape under the blanket. And honestly, it makes sense. When people are cold, overwhelmed, tired, or simply done with the day, they do not usually stretch out like a confident starfish. They fold in. You want a boundary, even if you never say it that way. The belly feels guarded. The limbs stay close. There is less exposed surface. From the outside, it looks small. From the inside, it can feel safe. That comfort is real. But there is a difference between a loose curl and a defensive knot. If the knees pull too high and the chin tucks down, breathing can feel more restricted. The spine rounds. The hips stay flexed. You wake up stiff because you stayed folded for too long. A loose curl comforts you. A tight curl compresses you. Most people learn the difference after waking up folded like a pocket knife. So the goal is not to stop curling. The goal is to make the curl less aggressive. Let the knees bend without crushing the chest. Keep the neck longer. Let the shoulders drop. The comfort is allowed. Just do not make the position smaller than your breathing. Sometimes you curl up because the day was a lot, and small just feels safer. Log position. Log position looks boring. That is why people underestimate it. Some people sleep on their side like someone placed them there carefully. Arms down. Legs mostly straight. No curl, no reach. No dramatic pillow arrangement. Just a quiet line under the blanket. That is the log position. Side sleeping with fewer decisions. With the right pillow and mattress, it can keep you fairly even. Breathing is usually easier than on the back, and there are fewer twists to manage, less drama, fewer moving parts. But the log position is boring only until the same shoulder wakes up angry 3 mornings in a row. Because all that neatness puts a lot of weight on one side. The lower shoulder takes it, the hip takes it, sometimes the arm underneath wakes up before you do. You open your eyes, and one arm seems to belong to someone else for a few seconds. Usually not dangerous. Still, a terrible way to start the morning. A pillow between the knees helps. Switching sides helps if the same shoulder keeps complaining. And if one arm keeps going numb, the lower arm may need a better place. The log position does not create drama. That is the problem. It can irritate the same shoulder quietly for days before you connect the dots. If the same side keeps waking up sore, it is leaving a pattern. Yearner position. In the Yearner position, the side is not always the problem. The reach is. Maybe one hand is under the pillow. Maybe both arms are stretched out in front of the chest. Maybe you look like you are reaching for something in a dream. The side may be fine. The shoulder may not be. When the arms stay extended for hours, the upper shoulder rolls forward, the upper back tightens, and the lower arm gets compressed. That is how people wake up with the classic dead arm situation. Your arm feels completely gone for a few seconds. Then it slowly comes back in that prickly, uncomfortable way that makes you regret having arms at all. This position feels natural because the hands have somewhere to go. Nobody wants to fall asleep feeling like their limbs were assembled badly. A pillow in front of the chest gives the top arm a job other than dragging the shoulder forward. That is the funny thing about sleep. Sometimes the fix is not profound. Sometimes the arm just needs somewhere decent to be. If you wake up with shoulder stiffness, look at the reach. That may be where the stiffness starts. And if numbness keeps returning, check whether the shoulder, elbow, or wrist is being trapped night after night. By now, side sleeping has shown the pattern: easier breathing, more pressure, and plenty of shoulder politics. But here is the uncomfortable truth. The position you love is not always the position that treats you best. It is often just the one that gets you to sleep fastest. That is why the next one survives every lecture. Stomach, sleeping, and freefall. Stomach sleeping is the position people criticize in daylight and still choose at 1:14 a.m. Stomach sleepers have heard the lecture. They know. They probably agree with it at noon. But in the middle of the night, face down just feels correct. And the neck can complain later. You lie on your stomach, head turned to one side, sometimes with arms wrapped around the pillow. The appeal is pressure. The front of you presses into the bed, and that steady contact can feel grounding. You can see why someone keeps choosing it, even if their neck disagrees later. But the neck usually complains first. Unless you have discovered a way to breathe through the mattress, your head has to turn. That means the neck stays rotated for a long time, and your spine makes a deal so you can stay face down. If your hips sink too much, your lower back gets dragged into it. Your chest may also get less room than it wants. None of this means stomach sleeping is evil. It means the comfort has a cost. For some snorers, stomach sleeping is the one position where the airway complains less because it is not falling backward the same way it might on the back. But that does not erase the neck and back problem. If you are a stomach sleeper, the realistic advice is not always, just stop. People love saying that, as if sleep habits obey daytime logic. A thinner pillow helps. Less neck twist helps. Slowly training towards side sleeping helps some people. The comfort is real. You still might feel it in the morning. That is why this position is so hard to quit. It feels good before it feels bad. Pillow hug position. Pillow hugging looks emotional, but a lot of the time, it is just good engineering. People joke about it because it looks needy. Your shoulder does not care about your image. It just needs somewhere to put the arm. A pillow gets pulled to the chest. A blanket becomes a shape. Maybe it is just the nearest soft thing. And somehow, you relax before you even think about why. For many people, this is not a symbol. It is a solution. When you sleep on your side, the top arm has to go somewhere. If it falls across the chest, it drags the shoulder forward. If it has support, everything relaxes a little. That is why the pillow works. It gives the arm a landing place. The shoulder stops doing extra work. The position feels less like a collapse. Sometimes a pillow is architecture, not romance. And yes, sometimes it is emotional too. Fine. Adults still need warmth, contact, weight, and a clear boundary. Your nervous system is trying to feel safe. The size matters. Too thick and the shoulder climbs. Too thin and the arm still falls. The right pillow fills the gap without creating a new problem. Wrong is too strong for this position. Unsupported is more accurate. Give the arm somewhere decent to be, and the whole side sleeping setup suddenly behaves better. Some positions are about alignment, some are about pressure, some are about comfort. But not every clue is pain. Sometimes the clue is that your body refuses to stay still. Combination sleeping. Combination sleepers do not sleep in positions. They sleep in chapters. They start on their back, turn to the side, curl up, stretch out, flip over, kick the blanket away, pull it back, and somehow wake up facing a direction nobody remembers choosing. That is combination sleeping. And a lot of the time, it is not a problem. You might simply be moving the problem before it gets too loud. Staying in one position for hours can put too much weight on the same shoulder, hip, arm, or part of the back. Shifting positions spreads that pressure around. Movement is not failure, it may be maintenance. If you shift a few times and wake up rested, that is probably just your system adjusting. But if you toss constantly, wake up tangled, or feel like you fought the mattress and lost, the movement is pointing to something else. Pain, stress, too much heat, a mattress that does not support you, a pillow that only works in one position, or breathing that is not smooth enough for you to stay settled. Combination sleepers do not need one perfect pose. They need a setup that survives several poses, a pillow that works on the side and back, enough room to turn, bedding that does not become its own enemy, and fewer heavy blankets if heat keeps waking you up. Movement is not the problem. Restless movement is the clue. Inclined and upright sleeping. And then there are the nights where every normal position fails. Flat does not work. Side does not work. Another pillow does not work. So you start building a soft little hill under your head and hoping gravity becomes useful. By morning, your neck hurts, and the whole setup looks guilty. Sometimes the problem is not that you need more pillows. It is that you are trying to build a medical device out of laundry. At that point, the issue is probably not the pillow. It is the angle. Inclined sleeping can help when lying flat makes reflux, congestion, or breathing discomfort take over the night. But the mistake is lifting only the head. If the head rises and the chest stays flat, the neck becomes the hinge. And your neck did not sign up for that job. The goal is to bring the head, neck, and upper body up together. That is why a wedge pillow or adjustable bed usually works better than a pile of pillows pretending to be a structure. Upright sleep can help in short situations. A cold, travel, recovery, or a night when lying flat makes symptoms worse. But without real support, you are not sleeping upright. You are slowly folding in a chair. If the angle helps, respect the angle. Just do not turn your neck into the support system. There may not be one perfect sleeping position. There are only patterns your body keeps repeating. A sore neck, a numb arm, reflux after dinner, the same shoulder complaining every morning. One clue does not explain everything, but when the same clue keeps showing up, it is no longer random. And if pain, numbness, breathing trouble, or reflux keeps returning, get proper medical advice. Because sleep is not only about how long you stayed in bed, it is about what your body had to endure just to keep you asleep.